Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Write this down.
Write that down.
Blow your eardrums out. You never know how loud the rock's going to be.
Write this down.
There we go.
Write it down.
There
You
you
like writing things
not
down.
It's very
Mama
excitable.
Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes. Gonna take your son's blood, put it on that belt. Judd has no clue what we're talking
no
about.
clue what you're talking about.
This is the Wednesday every week that we make predictions, the only show in America that actually keeps track of our predictions with statistics. It's called Write That Down. And we'll run through the accountabilities. We will make, I think it's the second to last batch of predictions because the Super Bowl is the end date for the season here. So we've been stockpiling stats for the 2024 season. It all comes down to the next 2 weeks to see who wins the different categories.
Big time.
So to set the stage, let's go to Quick Trip, the official pregame show of Write That Down Wednesdays.
Yep, exactly right. Quick Trip. You know what? I represent their clothes because I believe in what they have, and that is the best convenience store possible. In fact, if you are watching this right now, you're saying that's not a convenience store, Sports Dad. That's a grocery store, and I'm here to tell you it's not, but it might as well will be because they have everything that you could possibly want, snacks, breakfast, lunch, whatever you desire, and also with their app that you can put on your phone. You can pump gas and they will bring your groceries. They will bring your goodies out to you. That is how convenient it is, a Quick Trip. And as always, if you make a Quick Trip stop, we love to see your pictures at Score North on Twitter, at JZolgad. Show us that you are supporting Quick Trip because they deserve that.
Amen. Also, North American Banking Company is presenting Write That Down. North American Banking Company based in Minneapolis, or based in the Twin Cities, I should say. 6 metro locations in Maple Grove, Roseville, Shoreview, Hastings, Woodbury, 50th in France. And they opened up in 1998, serving specifically the Twin Cities area. And they specialize in personal relationships and cutting-edge online tools. So whether you're just looking for a new, better, maybe more personable banking experience, maybe you're looking to buy a home or tackle a renovation, financing a car, setting up a new business, North American Banking Company is here to partner with you. Go to nabankco.com/Mackey to learn more. I've had great experiences with North American Banking Company. nabankco.com/Mackey. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Write this down.
Okay. So let's get to we'll tell you how this works. Maybe you're new. Maybe you're just jumping in to Write That Down for the first time. So we'll remind you guys that it's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to participate like Riley is about to, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled in. But it's been 50 weeks of laying bricks, completion percentage, stacking the completions, the touchdowns. Let's go through the accountability session. Judd had one thing come off the board. You said the Lions would win the NFC and play in the Super Bowl.
Just fell a little bit short there.
Oof.
Didn't win a playoff game.
Rough. It was rough for the Lions. And now they're getting poached. Their coordinators are getting hired away. Some of their other assistants might be getting hired away. It's rough for the Lions. I told you guys the Lions would lose their first playoff game. That's
Very
right.
nice. Nicely done.
Lions fans, by the way, have found my tweet from a couple days ago where I said, I just posed a question. I said, the Lions missed their window, didn't they? Boy, Lions fans
They need to calm down.
they disagree.
They all need to calm down. You lost. Like that's it. Go mourn. Quit defending your team. They need to calm down. You people were losers for how long?
Take the L.
And now you're right. Now you get a little taste of success, and it's like, okay, Mackey. And they also are clearly, to your point, Phil, they're searching Lions.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're looking for some guy in Minneapolis.
Well, I think the algorithm just kind of serves them
whatever.
Lions stuff.
Calm down, take the L, and
Whatever.
accept the fact that you guys are losers.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to search Zolgad and see what happens.
Oh, it's dangerous.
It's on Twitter right now.
I did tweet something about the Lions at the end of the regular season, and it got found.
Oh, here we go.
I think these yahoos are searching for the team name.
I have a Judd question, too, after you share that tweet, Phil.
Well, it's when you search Zolgad, it's mostly just, as it should be, Judd's account and like all of his tweets.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
just trying to see if anyone like ripped you without tagging you. You know, if you're, you're pretty clean here. Pretty clean here.
Yeah, I think I ordinarily get tagged. I mean, I get ripped a lot, but it's ordinarily tagged.
They come at you face to face.
Yeah,
Were
which I
you
like.
wearing a Snuggie in your selfie video yesterday?
Yeah,
about KOC?
I love that Snuggie. And yesterday was Snuggie weather. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Yep.
of positive feedback on your wardrobe in that selfie video.
I thought about
yesterday.
putting it on for the show, and then but it's sort of hot.
Warmer now. It's 12.
Well, now it's nice. Now, quick trip. But yes, I was. And let's just say, quick story here, okay? So for Christmas, Phil, our mutual friend,
Yeah.
Nadine Babu.
I heard about the great.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to wear it on the show because I heard like Judd got a new hoodie that he loves from one of our friends, Nadine.
Nadine gave Dawn a Snuggie for Christmas. And I'm like, gotta have that, gotta wear that. So I was trying to poach it. So Babu, I guess Dawn told her, Judd's stealing my Snuggie. So on Friday, I get a text from Babu that says, there's a gift outside your house. Merry Christmas. Stop stealing Dawn's. And I'm like, what's that? So I get home and it's the Snuggie. But the great thing with Babu is she knows I don't like to get the door. So if she leaves stuff, she'll just drop it off and leave.
That's the way you do. Well, that's how everyone should do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No need to knock.
Or get your friends to place the Amazon order for you because you don't trust credit card systems, and then you just get it delivered to your door.
That's true too. But yes, I was, and it is so comfortable. And when it's 40 below outside, Snuggies are where it's at.
Love it. So you got to bring that thing to Purple Daily here at some point. You got to mix that into the.
Sure, I can. Yeah.
An appetizer.
Yeah, if it's cold again.
Back to the accountabilities here. I told you guys Brian Flores would get a head coaching interview at some point after the 2024 season. Got 3 of them. Looks like he might go for 3. We'll see. Okay, listeners, a lot of stuff here. Let's sift through the bad first. Rob had a coaching parlay. Aaron Glenn to the Saints, Ben Johnson to the Raiders, Kellen Moore to the Cowboys.
Dang.
That's a lot. That's a lot right there.
The Cowboys are just, I don't know, maybe they're holding out for Deion. They could still hire Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
If they wanted to.
I think they're just off their rocker with Jerry now.
Or maybe it's just Jerry's off his rocker and
Right,
no
that's
one
what I'm
knows
saying.
how to operate around him.
Or Zimmer.
Correct.
It would be, oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be something?
It'd be awesome.
Raging in Big D.
See the game?
Yeah. Bobby said Chiefs will not cover the spread. They actually did. It was like 7.5 or 8, maybe 8.5 it got to, but it was a 9-point win for the Chiefs. Nick and Chelsea said for the first time since 1996, the Vikings will beat a team in the regular season that goes on to win the Super Bowl. Austin said a Vikings player will win Rookie of the Year. I mean,
No, yeah, you're good. Take it out.
probably not gonna. Tony said by the start of next season, Kwesi and KOC will not be with the Vikes. Well, KOC just signed an extension. Okay, Kylie said the Lions will not win a playoff game.
Good work.
And then Clara said Matt Eberflus will be fired and Ben Johnson will be the new Bears head coach. Specificity means that's a touchdown.
Nice work,
yeah.
Clara.
So another touchdown for the listeners, which you'll see the stats here in a moment. Dex, one bad thing come off the board. You had a parlay. Bills, Chiefs, Rams, Lions would win their games. You got the AFC side of the bracket, right? And then, so you said in the Lions-Commanders game, there'd be at least 6 fourth down attempts between the teams, and we mathed it out that the average was like 3.5 or 4 if you combine the two teams, and you said 6. And there was a point we were all texting about this, like, oh my gosh. But there was a point where I think the Commanders lined up on fourth down, and the Lions had 12 men on the field. Yeah. So they were going to go for it, and that was going to get you closer, and then they got a penalty, but Both sides did combine for 6.
Detroit snuck it in just at the on the last play of the game.
That was huge.
So I just got in there.
So with that here, with a couple weeks left, Declan still with a lead in the completion percentage, 39.4%. I'm up to 34.1. Judd, 31.5. Listeners, 29.5. But the real story is the listeners it's an historic touchdown season.
Yes.
21 touchdowns.
Yes.
On the season. Declan with 12. Judd and I tied for last with 11 apiece.
Great work.
Do we know what the previous high for touchdowns is?
Let me just find that real quick. So Purple Daily Write That Down began for the 2020 season.
And I feel like 21 is well past whatever the previous record was, but
so
like
2023, Declan had 18 touchdowns to lead everyone. 2022, I had 19 touchdowns to lead everyone. 2021, listeners had 16. And then, let's see here, 2020? You know what? No, 21 was the first
21
year.
was the first one for PD because we didn't do one in 2020. We added this for 21.
So they're already 2 ahead of the all-time record with some stuff still to come off the board.
Well done.
So bravo to the
well done, listeners. And
then career statistics. Listeners with their 60th career touchdown pass, which leads that category. Declan with the completion percentage lead all-time, just under 37%. So really impressive. No pressure on Riley here, by the way. Just to live up to the standard. I love that's like a new buzzword for coaches. The standard.
I think we said
the standard is the standard. So Riley, what's going on, man? Welcome in to Write That Down, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah. Give us your background as a Vikings fan? When did you get hooked?
For sure, yeah. So I was born in '99. I'm 25 right now, so that a little too young for the '98 season. The '09 season still lives rent-free in my head. We had some neighbors across the street, and I still remember our family going over there all pumped up for the game. And then my dad, once Favre threw the crossbody interception, I was in tears. I just stormed out back to the house, and it was all snowy, and my dad still has the video of my footprints just dragging in the snow for like 3-block walk home. So yep, that's where it all started for me. I was hooked ever since. Played all the Madden games, which definitely helped out too. So that's where it started for me.
Did you drop your first swear words
probably
on the way home?
It had to be
F-bomb, possibly.
Yeah, it might have been with the 12 men in the huddle back then. Who was the fullback's name? Who was the fullback?
Malfahu Tahi.
Oh my goodness. Yep, that had to be the first swear words, I think, when I was probably 9 or 10.
Your parents like, where'd that go? Oh, we get it.
Man, exactly. Yeah, Judd did a bunch of digging on like who exactly was to blame, and didn't we figure through a bunch of conversations that it was a miscommunication. Eric Bieniemy was the running back position coach. That there was like they were going to run a play, and he thought it was a different personnel grouping.
Yes,
and so
Favre instead of staying out, or if you look ordinarily, the quarterback will count heads and then step in. Favre didn't, and so like there was just a whole. But yeah, I think it was Bieniemy, and I think there was something to do with tight ends coach Jimmy Johnson, who might have been in charge of personnel packages or something. But yeah, it was complete chaos and completely unnecessary.
Yes, it still stings.
All the different ways, man, that this franchise finds ways. So we're going to start with Riley. We'll go around the room, one prediction each lap, and we'll do 3 trips. So Riley, over to Judd, to Dex, back to me. You are under center, Riley.
Write this down.
Fire away.
Sweet. All right, so I'll start off with some positivity. Hear a lot of people saying like it's got to be a dip in McCarthy's first year. Hasn't taken a snap in the NFL. Don't buy that. He seems wise beyond his years. I'm saying 10-plus wins for the team in the regular season, and KOC and JJ McCarthy get their first playoff win next year.
Okay. So maybe a step back from the 14 wins, but finally pick up the first playoff win. So they'd probably be going on the road as a wild card if they go 10-7, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they go to Philly.
Yep.
Go some fun place and spoil it.
Yep.
And set the standard.
I think
and set
so.
the standard.
I think
Yep.
so.
Set that standard.
Write this down.
All right, Judd.
Mike McCarthy will be the next coach of the New Orleans Saints. Mike McCarthy will get that Saints job, which I ultimately think is not a bad job at all.
What's their cap problem, though? Are they still in cap hell?
They are, but they've got to be very close to purging that.
It's been wild the last few years. So they are, they're still in cap hell. So 2025, because this is what happened. This is from like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, they kicked the can.
Back to the Drew Brees era. And so they are currently $52 million over the cap, which is by far the worst situation in the NFL. And you can kind of cut your way or whatever. 2026, it's a little better, but they're definitely still digging out.
Just take
Definitely
your lumps
something.
now, though. Like, just take your lumps. But that job is not a bad job. And I actually don't think that franchise is nearly as dysfunctional as some from the top.
And hey, I mean, Sean Payton went to a cap hell situation with the Broncos. And if you get a good, experienced Super Bowl caliber coach and get the right quarterback in, even if you're paying, $60 million in cap penalties or whatever to Russell Wilson.
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
All right, first one for me. I believe I made this earlier this season. It was a touchdown prediction, and I want to throw the ball again in the exact same play, exact same scripted play here. So write this down. Bills beat the Chiefs, and they will not be trailing at any point in the fourth quarter.
So this is the same prediction that
Same
you hit
prediction,
on.
and I hit it on. This did hit when they met earlier this season. So I'm going to run it back. The rules allow that to still happen. So the Bills beat the Chiefs, and they will not be trailing at any point in the fourth quarter.
Wow. I can't wait for this game.
It's going to be fun. It'll be a great
It's
game.
the fourth time these teams with
nervous,
these
but
quarterbacks have met in the postseason.
I really want the Bills to finally prevail.
So you're nervous?
Yeah, because I mean, the Chiefs just don't lose. They don't lose.
Oh, what if Josh
I'm
Allen-
anxious. I'm nervous.
Yeah, it's crazy because it does feel like for the first time, the Bills are definitively the better team. But then the Chiefs just have this, and a lot of people are like, the refs, the officials. Some of it is just great teams commit fewer penalties in key situations. It doesn't always have to be that, like, the refs are out to... No, they have the best coach, the best quarterback, greatest tight end of all time, and one of the best defenses. Like, yeah, they don't... But we'll see. Okay, write this down.
Write this down.
Did you guys see that Ben Johnson walked into the Bears facility?
Yep.
And they had like 2 people up in the upper deck of whatever that was. Like
Ticket
the
sales
cafeteria.
guy was up there. Yeah, we got a coach. We got our coach.
And there's first time Ben Johnson's ever stepped out in public without a hat on too. People are like, "Who's that?" Oh, that's Ben Johnson. And what I find hilarious about the whole process, and the you see it? Like, have you ever seen that guy without a hat?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's yeah.
And then he did like a weird selfie video. And but what's funny is, and the Bears are like Exhibit A, and the Jets are right there with them. The excitement for this new coach that's going to save the franchise. And I'll bet you, if you were to go back and watch Matt Eberflus walking into the room, and Matt Nagy walking into the room, and Mark Trestman, and then the Jets, Robert Saleh, and it's like, it's just funny. Every 2 or 3 years, here, finally, we got it right. Even when they drafted Caleb, it was like, oh, they're going to win 12 games. So I say all that to say that I think this is going to be a disaster. So the Bears, here's my prediction.
Write this down.
The Bears will miss the playoffs in 2025. I'll just go with that one. The Bears will miss the playoffs in 2025. It's not like a touchdown prediction. But and off the record, I think Ben Johnson is gone from that job within, like, he might get 3 years. Eberflus got 3 years, but
Write this down.
I'm
And
not buying
Poles
it.
is gone too, right? Like that's the thing.
that's it.
Well, if
that
they have a
doesn't
weird
work, then
bad
Poles
year,
is out.
Yeah, 100%. Just feels, I don't know, we laid it out yesterday. I have a bad feeling about it.
Write this down.
All right, Riley, your second prediction.
Yeah, so similar vein as Declan, the Bills, aka the Vikings of the AFC, as I like to call them, they will end up beating the Chiefs, and they will get their first Super Bowl in franchise history. They'll win it by 2 scores, I believe. Tell me, I don't think that's a touchdown. I
No,
don't
that
think
is.
That's
It is?
touchdown.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
So you're saying they win the Super Bowl by 2
Yep.
scores.
3 items.
Yep. So they get
Yeah.
past the Chiefs. It'll probably be close. It'll be a close back and forth game. But I think once they get to the Super Bowl, it's not going to be too close. I think 2 possessions, they have it in hand.
Yeah, like Declan said, that's a 3-item parlay is almost always a touchdown. So you have essentially, it's a 3-item parlay. They're going to win this weekend, they're going to win the Super Bowl, and they're going to win the Super Bowl by at least, would you say 2 scores or 2 touchdowns? 2 scores.
Yep.
Wow.
Perfect.
Love the aggressiveness.
Write this down.
All right, Judd.
Josh Allen on Sunday against the Chiefs will account for at least 4 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Could be 2 passing, 2 running. Could be 3 running, 1 passing, but at least 4 touchdowns. I think if the Bills are going to win, he's going to have a monster game. He's capable, so I'm going with a big day for Josh Allen.
All right. Back to the
Write this
Dexter.
down.
All right, I'm going to make a prediction, kind of adding to the layer of the controversial Jay Glazer report from the season finale about KOC getting trade calls. I want to add something to this kind of prediction here. So write this down. There will be a credible report about a specific team or teams who checked in on trading for Kevin O'Connell.
Oh.
So we'll have
'cause that's what happened.
Yep, we'll have an on the record, either from Glazer himself or someone else will say that this team did indeed try and checked in and tried to trade for Kevin O'Connell. So I had the end date of week. I wanted this to be the whole offseason, so I have it as end date of week 1 of 2025. But we'll have a team named or teams named of who tried to trade for Kevin O'Connell.
And so, just to be clear, Glazer reported the teams were considering calling. Like this. This has turned into this. I don't know what, but and he was on Twitter defending himself, which is hilarious. But it's the Bears, and here's why. Trace Armstrong represents KO. Trace Armstrong is a former Bear. There was just a big story about how Trace Armstrong was playing a key role in Bears decisions.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's go with the potential conflict here. Trace Armstrong represents a successful coach. He played for the Bears. He's friends with the Bears brass. Oh, wow.
Well, also he wants is he Ben Johnson's agent too?
I don't know. It's very
Would he-
possible, though. He
or
has a
Aaron
lot of
Glenn's
coaches.
agent?
He has a
'Cause
lot
if
of
he-
coaches.
Because he would want those coordinators to perform well in a Week 18 match. Like, there's a lot of So I got the tweet. Jay Glazer, Ari Mirov, this My Sports Update guy.
That's great.
These random just NFL aggregator people.
Yep.
But he's got 750,000 followers on Twitter, and he says, I have so many questions about the Kevin O'Connell trade story that dropped the morning of Week 18. I'm sure teams were interested in trading for him, but the timing couldn't have been worse for the Vikings given they were playing for the number 1 seed. And Jay Glazer jumps in and says, well, the timing was because this is when our show airs Fox NFL Sunday, not Wednesday or Thursday, Sunday. Every year for probably the last 15 years, the same weekend, I do my annual coaching carousel segment and drop nuggets that aren't known. I don't work for Twitter. I work for Fox. So I drop news on Sunday for Fox Sports. Oh, and by the way, there were multiple teams interested in trading for Kevin O'Connell. And yes, the Vikings were aware of those teams' interest. I never reported that he would be traded because that's up to the Vikings. I did my job reporting what was going on behind the scenes in some of these searches. This narrative that I reported it to screw the Vikings when they were going to play the Lions is the dumbest ish I've ever read. And I've read some really dumb ish over the years. I don't think anyone's accusing Jay of screwing the Vikings. And by the way, if you're the Vikings, it's just noise anyway. So that shouldn't be an excuse for why they lost. My issue with it is, okay, so we're saying that envious teams that have a bad coach or hell, a bad quarterback or a bad whatever have interest in acquiring a better coach. So is the breaking news that the Saints or the Bears or pick a garbage team, the Jets that can't figure it out and hires bad coaches every 3 years, would love a Kevin O'Connell? That's what's like. Of course, teams want Kevin O'Connell. Teams want Sean McVay. Teams want Kyle Shanahan.
But the Vikings opened the door. The story was this. O'Connell, after 23, when the Vikings said, you know what, Kirk's done here. And it's very clear that Kevin was like, I really like Kirk. Like, if we can get Kirk back. When that got done, according to what Seifert has reported for ESPN, when that whole thing transpired, O'Connell went to them and said, okay, that's cool. I want some security. Like, I don't want to have 2 years left on my contract and it doesn't work. Like, if you're going to trust me to draft the quarterback, sign me to an extension now. And the Vikings were like, oh, we're going to wait and see. And I think Kevin's point was, hold on a second here. You're going to trust me to develop the next quarterback, but you're not going to give me an extension when you just let the quarterback I developed walk. So that's what created the friction. Like, that was the problem.
But and not to tell, like, Jay Glazer is a great insider, so I don't want to, like, tell him how to do his job. But it's only a story. Of course, teams want better coaches, and like, yeah, it'd be great. The Vikings would love to trade for Josh Allen. Well, he's not, unless the Bills make Josh Allen available for trade. Unless the Vikings make Kevin O'Connell available for trade, it's really a weird story, isn't it?
No, because they didn't give him an extension, and where his people,
but he's under contract still for.
Right, but
for
they're
2
not
years from the point you're talking about.
Right, but he was upset by that. Contract didn't get done. 25 is going to be his last year. Ergo, O'Connell's people said, well, if we're not going to get this done, he's not going to coach. I mean, you'd be crazy to allow him to go into free agency. Therefore, teams would now trade for him at this point. And then the Vikings finally closed the door on Tuesday, which is smart. But like, this was a definite, like, something was amiss here. So it got done. That's great. But I have no problem with O'Connell's people saying, hold on a second. Kirk Cousins just left. You want me to develop a quarterback, but you're not going to give me what I want. So
it feels 90% agent driven and 10% maybe Kevin was a little annoyed that he didn't get a deal earlier. Right. But the fact that he didn't get a deal earlier probably made him a lot more money because he got to build Sam Darnold's career back from dust.
But then they threw out
the clouds.
But then I think what helps is then just assuming Trace Armstrong tells Glazer this, and now it gets in the news cycle, and people were pissed off, but it's top of mind then. Like, yeah, it's what the whole business is. Agents trying to drive controversy or drive storylines.
Write this down.
Didn't expect that can of worms to get that far in, but yeah, there you go.
It's interesting stuff.
Is it my turn? Are we back to me?
Yes, it is your turn.
It is interesting, but it's also it's just kind of ridiculous. Okay, write this down. You guys have already made a bunch of like Bills and Josh Allen. I'll go this route. I think old Tay has found a new good luck charm. I think we're going to see Caitlin Clark back in the booth with Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark back in the booth with Taylor Swift for the AFC Championship game. Write it down. The two most famous women in sports and entertainment. Yeah. And people being driven nuts. Like, how could you show them? They literally were cutting to them like every first down, every time somebody would do anything positive for the Chiefs. It's kind of funny.
Write this down.
Okay, Riley, back to you for your third and final.
Back to me. All right. I was between a couple. I'll go with one that could come off during the offseason here. So I got Vikings signed 3+ players in free agency, 28 years or younger. So I think that we're going to take advantage of some of the cap room. Obviously, Kwesi, like some of the younger players that kind of fit our timeline. Let me know if I need to add like a minimum price to this to make it a touchdown during the offseason. Like,
yeah,
because
they're definitely gonna sign a bunch of players,
right?
So if you want it to be a touchdown, you guys might have to help here. Would it have to be like 10 million?
It would have to be like total amount of guaranteed money.
How about
I think.
How about instead of that a timeline? Because if they sign 3 players with at that age within the first week, because like where it doesn't become a touchdown is those secondary guys. Like if they sign a Slappy in April, who cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But if they
first wave,
first wave, like a week and a half.
I like first week of free agency.
Yeah, so I mean, first wave would be like by the end of that first weekend because it opens up on Monday.
Yep, you're right.
So within the first 7 days of the tampering window and free agency.
Perfect. Yeah,
okay.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
Write this down.
Cool. All right, Riley. Good predictions, man. Since you've got this platform right now, this life-changing moment here, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get here?
Yeah, your
For sure.
parents.
For sure. Got to be my dad for making me love this team. Even though it's hurt throughout the years, he was always there rooting with me. And then obviously my girlfriend too. She loves watching your guys' show, especially O-line committee. Love seeing Boone on the screen is my hunch, but she loves watching it with me, and I definitely appreciate that. So got to be my dad and my girlfriend, huge Vikings fans with me.
Love it. Thank you, Riley.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
Thank you,
kind
guys.
words, and we'll see you again sometime.
Sweet. Sounds good,
All
guys.
right. Guest listener predictor Riley in the house. Butcher and the Boar.
Yep.
I feel like on these cold days, man, like there's nothing like walking into Butcher and the Boar, that meat smoke as you open the door.
Southern style hospitality. Yeah. In fact, you know what? Write this down. If you want a great experience as far as a gathering, again, for Southern style hospitality, Butcher and the Boar in the North Loop. Happy hour every day, 4 to 6 p.m. Now let's talk about the Judd Special. That's right, the Judd Special, Sports Dad Special, which is a beer brought and shot for $15. A huge handmade beer brought with sauerkraut and mustard, any draft beer, any rail shot as well. And of course, there are some absolutely scrumptious meals as well that you can find there. North Loop. So if you're going downtown, just peel off to the North Loop and check them out. Butcher and the Boar. Fantastic food any time of year. And Phil's right, especially this time.
Yeah. If you want to envision that it is summer and you're out on a lake, the Minneapolis Boat Show, the Discover Boating Minneapolis Boat Show, in partnership with Progressive Insurance, is the best in boating at the Minneapolis Convention Center this Thursday through Sunday. It's not just any boat show. It's the Midwest's largest boat sale. More boats, more brands, unbeatable deals. Check out what's new for 2025. No better place to buy brand new boats, explore pontoons, accessories. General admission tickets for adults are $13 online, $15 on site if you show up. Go to minneapolisboatshow.com to learn more and purchase tickets. That's minneapolisboatshow.com. All right. Time to make our final predictions here.
Write this down.
Third and final. This is something I have seen that there very well might be this player and the team divorcing. I have not seen it. The Vikings tied in at all. So this comes from just a total guess. But write this down. There will be a credible report this offseason, off the record, probably March or so, that the Vikings are in discussions about acquiring or signing Cooper Kupp. So the Rams are in a pickle. They're going to have to redo his contract or release him. Now he could go back. That's a good possibility. But Kevin O'Connell loves himself some Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp can play all the positions. He knows the Rams offense, therefore he knows the Vikings offense backwards and forwards. So if Cooper Kupp is out there, I think we might see a KO Cooper Kupp reunion.
That would be quite the trio of wide receivers, man. If you could have, Cooper Kupp would basically be your third receiver, right? I know that we remember him from a couple years ago, but with the injuries and
I think he'd be okay
getting
with
older,
that.
Addison's still your two.
Yep.
And then Kupp would be your.
Yep.
And Jalen Naylor could still stick around.
Seamless
be the
transition,
four.
though, right?
Yeah, system.
Offensively, absolutely
Write this
seamless.
down.
100%. All right, Dex, your final prediction.
All right, I'm going to make a Super Bowl related prediction. Dex tweets cleaned up on the prop bets last year, and this one's involving the game. Now, a lot of these other prop bets I will make next week involve circumstance kind of unrelated to the actual game on the field. But write this down. In this year's Super Bowl, we will see a player get at least one player will get a octopus. Do you guys know what an octopus is in football? An octopus. An octopus is when a player scores a touchdown and the ensuing 2-point conversion. So, for example,
it's 8, like 8.
yeah,
that's awesome.
So if Jalen
Okay.
Hurts rushes in for the touchdown and then also rushes in for the ensuing 2-point conversion, that's an octopus. So that's one of the Super Bowl prop bets, and I actually think all the quarterbacks involved are very much in play for an octopus-like play. So
Yeah.
in this year's Super Bowl, we'll see at least one player secure an octopus. Write it down.
That's a great term for it.
I love that. Is there? Yeah. Did you say what are the odds on that happening?
There's no odds on it yet, but it has happened. It happened 2 Super Bowls ago. I think when Jalen Hurts and the Eagles were there, Jalen Hurts, I believe,
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're tush pushing, yeah, Josh Allen's a prime candidate.
I think Mahomes has done it. Yes, like it's.
Dude, if you get, I would say if you get, well, hell, either of the NFC teams,
Any of them, yeah.
Like if it's Bills versus Eagles, and you got the 2 touchdown mongering quarterbacks.
The octopus.
And it could still be like a wide receiver catches both, running back rushes in both. It's still possible for that too. But I think the quarterbacks involved make it feels pretty good for a chance for it to happen.
Okay, write this down. I'm trying to come
down.
up with the right number, and maybe I can. I don't know. I'd have to just kind of guess on this, but the Vikings' biggest problem offensively was their inability to score a touchdown from close range. Like they could pass the ball in, but they were like third to last in rushing touchdowns. You're going to see this weekend on Championship Sunday a barrage of close range touchdowns. You're going to see tush pushes. You're going to see running backs who can get in from close range, quarterbacks who can punch it in. Mm-hmm. So I think the Bills had 3 touchdowns from inside the 5-yard line alone in their game. They had a tush push from the 1.5 yards. Josh Allen ran one in from like the 4-yard line. Then they had a rushing touchdown from like the 2-yard line or something. So write this down. I'm going to say we're going to see at least 8 touchdowns on Championship Sunday. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's 2 games. Let's go 6. At least 6 touchdowns on Championship Sunday where the ball is snapped inside the 5-yard line. At least 6. We'll see. Sure. Yeah, we'll keep it at 6. Yeah. I should have done some research on like what a touchdown number would be for this. But my point is it'll highlight even more if we're doing notes for the Vikings on Monday that, hey, this is something that needs to be focused on. Scoring from the 5-yard line. Get that push.
Yeah, which starts interior line, huh?
Yeah. Dude, I mean, you watch like the Eagles, the Bills, it's ridiculous.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
So, okay, those are the write that down predictions here. We do have a quarterback cesspool challenge coming up here.
Everybody hold your water.
And I'm curious if anyone's going to pick Jaden Daniels, a rookie, in his first Championship Sunday game in the quarterback cesspool challenge. Over on Prize Picks right now, they got a free square basically. So what happens on Prize Picks, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money. You generally pick between 2 and 6 players, and you pick more or less on their projected stats. Well, one of the squares is Jaden Daniels' 0.5 passing yards. Right there. It's right there. That little emoji. So, yeah, you pick more on that. And then you could go like Jalen Hurts, 29.5 rushing yards. You could throw that one in there. Saquon Barkley, 0.5 touchdowns. I don't know. Probably going to tap more on that one, too. So that's how Prize Picks works. You download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code PURPLEDAILY and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's the Prize Picks app, free to download. Purple Daily as the code. You get $50 instantly when you play just $5.
Green 18! Green 18!
All right, quarterback cesspool challenge here, where we are on the hunt every single week for bad quarterback play. And it gets harder as we get into the playoffs here because there's less bad quarterback play. But it's each member of the show selecting a quarterback that we think is going to have a low QBR. So it's 0 to 100 scale on the ESPN QBR measurement. In the regular season, it was kind of like a survivor pool where you can only use a quarterback once for the season. We reset that in the playoffs because obviously you're not choosing between all of the quarterbacks. So last week, all of the quarterbacks were at least passable in terms of QBR. Jared Goff had the lowest QBR in the divisional round at 41.5. I'm a little shocked. My guy CJ Stroud took 8 sacks. Most of them were offensive line driven. He actually had the best QBR of the 3 of us. Judd had Matthew Stafford, 47.8 as the winner here.
Thank you to
among
Snow.
the 3 of us. Yeah. And then Declan had Jalen Hurts again, 49.5, so just a tick below average, and then I took C.J. Stroud 65.7. So with that, on the season, Judd has 9 weekly wins. Declan has 5. I have 4. And Judd with a commanding lead here, 38.1 average QBR. I'm at 48, trying to fend off Declan to get to the Super Bowl round. 49.6 average QBR for old Dex tweets. So there's 4 quarterbacks left. We go in reverse order of this last week's standing. So I get the first overall pick again. Declan picks second, and Judd picks third. And there's really no obvious answer.
No, there's not.
Someone's going to have to take Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really between me and Judd, or me and Phil, because
To get to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Like Judd can pick Allen or Mahomes if he wants to, and
He'll have to.
he'll be fine. Yeah, he'll probably.
Unless you're going to pick one of them. Or
I
me.
don't know. I kind of want to, because who cares at this point?
Well, Judd's running away with the season, but I mean it matters between you or me to get into the championship.
Yeah, true.
So the logic says, well, I mean that Eagles defense, road game. Jaden Daniels is a rookie, but he's so poised. He's legitimately one of the best quarterbacks in the league after the 4 future Hall of Fame guys.
Yep.
But I think with that Dan Quinn defense, the way the Commanders have been, and Jalen Hurts is kind of banged up. I'm gonna go Jalen Hurts against the Commanders. I'm gonna swipe Jalen Hurts from Dex.
That's a good call.
I'll take Jaden Daniels. I'll take a rookie QB in Philly. I love Jaden Daniels. To be honest, off the record, I do want Washington to win this game. I don't want to see Philly back in the Super Bowl, but rookie quarterback, hostile environment. I'll take the rookie. I'll take Jaden Daniels.
Dude, we're kind of sneakily setting up for a Metrodome Super Bowl rematch here. The Bills and the Redskins at the time.
And the Commanders, yeah.
Mark Rippon versus Jim Kelly.
Yep. Thurman Thomas couldn't find his helmet at the start of the game, and I think had to sit out a play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
I think they found it below the bench.
And that was the last Super Bowl halftime show where they said, okay, no more of these weird acts. We're going musical performances.
Dude, Up With People was not a weird act. Up With People was a magnificent.
No, it wasn't.
Actually, it was
No,
terrible.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Actually, it was terrible.
We're bringing
That's
in Michael
true.
Jackson now going forward.
That's true. All right, so I am left with the Bills and the Chiefs game. Oh, boy.
I did think about taking Mahomes. I did, because I was like, screw it. But
yeah, so I've got some room to play with here. So it's not going to be fatal. But
Can I just for fun, let me plug in here to the formula. If let's say somehow like you picked a quarterback that had a perfect, I don't know if a perfect QBR even is possible, but like I'll put a 99 QBR in.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. You would jump to 43.6, and then let's just say Jalen. I'll put 10 QBR in for me and Declan. I got to redo the math here.
so glad
I got a spreadsheet here.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, Declan would go down to 47. I think Judd. I mean, it's pretty much in the bag for Judd.
And then,
point.
what did we last year though? And Judd, I know you still have to pick your winner, or pick your guy. So my bad, but. We did something last year where the first pick for the Super Bowl round, like it was something else. Like it wasn't just the lowest QBR from the championship weekend. I think we did something unique.
We'll have to go back and listen.
Yeah, I'll go back and figure that out.
And so just to be clear, the two that are going to play in the Super Bowl, is it the season long or is it who wins on Championship Sunday?
So this is where we probably should have talked about.
Because I'd love to bow out. I'd like to lose and just not participate.
What?
So
we got to pick someone.
Oh
no, in the
I
Super
see
Bowl,
what you're
though,
saying.
I'd be out, right?
Okay,
because they're not 3 quarterbacks. Obviously,
that's a good point. Let's talk about this because this is the second year that we've kind of brought it. We used to do this on the old radio show, but this is the first time we've like really had the full weekly kind of standings and stuff. So it's tough because Judd has it clinched, like mathematically. But if you don't make it to no, you're going to get to the Super Bowl either way.
That's what I'm
because
asking.
there's really no way mathematically that you can fall into third place going into the Super Bowl.
Okay, but so the result of Championship Sunday, that I was just curious if the two that played in the Super Bowl were the season long standings or the two people that had won
season long standings. The question would be, is the Super Bowl just a formality to crown Judd, or do we essentially reset for the Super Bowl and say that the whole season leads up to you getting to the Super Bowl, and then whoever wins in the Super Bowl is the season champion?
Oh no, I would protest that.
I know you would protest
mightily.
that
Mightily. That would not be. That would not reward my process.
What we did last year was we had a regular season champion, and then we reset and had a postseason champion.
Yeah.
But I think we have to keep it the way it is. It's like the EPL where there's no playoffs. It's like if you dominate the year, you dominate. But I could see a world where it's a battle to get to the Super Bowl, and then in the Super Bowl, it's literally like two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and we're rooting for one of them to throw 3 interceptions.
All right.
We'll revisit for 2020.
I will take Mahomes. I'll take Mahomes. I don't like it, but I want the Bills to win, and so I'm not going to root for Josh Allen to fail. So I'll just take on the principle of the thing. Not that it's wise. I'll take Patrick Mahomes.
It's fair. Yeah, I mean it's so tough because Josh Allen's playing the best football of his life. He never turns the ball over.
He doesn't. Because he was previously a QBR problem at times, right? Because he would make plays that but I'm saying
he was
in a game
so
like
good
this,
on the upside.
he could short circuit.
I mean, he's had QB, like he led the league in QBR this year, but he had 69 the year before, 73, 66, 76. Like he's an above average. Regularly top 5.
Those are elite. Like a 70 QBR is ridiculous.
Yeah. No, he's pretty good at football.
And last year, I remember it was the winner of the random Viking of that week got to pick the first option. That's what we did.
Love it. All right, so we'll see. Judd's got Patrick Mahomes. I got Jalen Hurts. Dex has Jaden Daniels going into championship Sunday.
Boy.
We will hit you with a bonus. By the way, did we mention this? Aaron Glenn is the Jets coach. You texted us during the
Welcome back, Brian Flores.
special. Yeah, so Flores, now the Jaguars are the only other team he interviewed with, and they already have their finalists. So Flores coming back. Yep. We're going to hit you guys with a bonus episode of Purple Daily because there's some Sam Darnold steam out there, and we can flesh some of that out. Tomorrow is Thursday. Mel Kiper has his 1.0. I think we're going to do that with Thor tomorrow. Explore the space with Thor maybe poking at Mel Kiper's draft.
Mel's back.
He's back in full force. I feel like he used to do November mocks. I don't know. Maybe he's scaling back. He waited
or
till
they're
the third
trying
week
to
in January.
Yeah. I feel like Mel is probably wisely now mothballed for months.
Listen, we're gonna throttle you from like December
turn you off.
through Jordan Reed's got it covered. Zoo.
See you in January.
We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.